Good morning, children. How are you all? Have you all revised the first half of the lesson number 2, Northern Mountains and Northern Plains? I hope you all must have read nicely. Okay. So today, in the last class, we discussed about the Northern Mountains. Now in this class, we are going to read about the Northern Plains. So just a quick recap. North direction, all of you are aware of. Which is the north one? Which is on the top side of the map. Okay, right? So we are going to talk about the northern plains which are at the bottom, below the northern mountains. Now these are located to the south of Himalayas. The northern plains are located to the south of Himalayas, and it's a very vast area, very rich, fertile. Lots and lots of people live in these areas. So in this session, we will read about the importance of the northern plains. There are particularly 3 river basins in this area. There are Satluj Basin, Ganga Basin and the Brahmaputra Basin, and we will be reading about each one of them in detail. Okay? And then we will also read about what is the importance of these northern plains. So children, this is the physical map of India. Okay? And we are talking about northern plains which are over here, right? And they extend from Punjab in the west. Can you see Punjab over here? From Punjab in the west to Assam in the east. And this extends from here to here. This is 2400 kilometers. And their width varies. It can be 150 kilometers to 300 kilometers. Right? They cover the states. What are the states covered all over here? There is Punjab, then there is Haryana, then Uttar Pradesh, you can see, then Bihar, then West Bengal, here West Bengal, and parts of Assam. Okay? So all these states are covered under this. All these northern plains, they are flat, leveled lands, and many rivers originate from these Himalayan regions, which we talked about in the earlier module, and they flow through these plains. And these rivers we all have discussed earlier. They are known as perennial rivers. Why perennial? Because they get water throughout the year. The snow keeps melting from these mountains throughout the years, and they give rise to the rivers Ganga, Yamuna, Brahmaputra, Satluj. All these rivers, these are perennial rivers, and so they will have water throughout the year. These rivers make this stretch, these plains, a very rich and fertile area, and with the result, what will happen? A wide variety of crops can be grown over here. Now this whole northern plain can be broadly divided into 3 river basins. 3 basins, right? Now the question comes, what is a basin? An area watered by the river and its tributaries is called a basin. Okay? And there are 3 main basins. In the center, in the middle, there is Ganga Basin. Then in the east over here, there is Brahmaputra Basin. Then towards the west, this side, this is Satluj Basin. So I repeat once again, there are 3 river basins in northern plains. This side, Satluj Basin in the west, center, Ganga Basin, and Brahmaputra Basin in the east. Now we will discuss about these 3 basins one by one. First we begin with the center one, that is the Ganga Basin. Now all of you know that Ganga river is a sacred river, and many Hindus and other communities also worship this river. Right? It has its source in Gangotri. What is Gangotri? Gangotri is the name of a glacier which is in the Himalayas, and it flows through the states of Uttarakhand, then Uttar Pradesh, then it goes to Bihar, then West Bengal, and ultimately it falls down into the Bay of Bengal. Okay? So this river enters the plain through Haridwar. There is a place, before that it is in the mountains. The place where it enters the plain area, that place is Haridwar. Okay? And as it flows down, there are many small rivers that join this Ganga river, and these small rivers are known as tributaries. And one of the main tributary of Ganga is Yamuna river. Okay? And Yamuna river joins this Ganga river at Allahabad. There is a city called Allahabad in Uttar Pradesh, where Yamuna river joins this main river Ganga, and this meeting place is known as Sangam. What is it known as? Sangam. And all of you have heard about Kumbh Mela, which takes place in Allahabad every 12 years. Okay. The eastern part of the plain, this side of the plain, it receives lot of rainfall compared to this western part. Okay. So many crops can be grown where? This side, because the soil is very rich and it is fertile. And what are the crops? Rice can be grown, wheat can be grown, jute, sugar cane. And why they can be grown? Because water is available in plenty through these rivers as well as through wells and canals. This area, Ganga Basin, is very densely populated. Millions of people live here. There are many important cities like Rishikesh is there, Haridwar is there, Delhi is there, then Agra is there, Ayodhya, Patna, Varanasi, Kolkata, all important cities are in this Ganga Basin. In the east, this side lies the delta. You all can see here this blue mark. This is the delta region, which is also known as Ganga Brahmaputra Delta. Okay, this is the largest delta in the world. Now, what is a delta? A delta is an area where the main river is again broken up into small rivers, channels, small, before falling into this Bay of Bengal. Okay, so this was about the Ganga Basin. Now let us come to this area, which is the Brahmaputra Basin. Okay, it starts in Tibet. The Ganga, this Brahmaputra Basin, this starts in Tibet. Okay, and then it flows eastwards first of all, right, and enters India through Arunachal Pradesh. Here Arunachal Pradesh, you all can see in Arunachal Pradesh, it enters India through Arunachal Pradesh and then flows westward through Assam, and then it goes to Bangladesh, right? And this Brahmaputra Basin also receives very heavy rainfall during the monsoon winds, and I have told you what brings monsoons, because the monsoon winds strike these Himalayas and bring rains in this area. Okay, so heavy rainfall is over here. Sometimes this area gets flooded also because of this, and lot of silt is brought through these flooded rivers, which is that silt is a very fertile soil. Okay, and that is why it is excellent for crops like jute, rice, which is grown widely in this area. So this is about Brahmaputra Basin, and now we come to this Satluj Basin, this area, Satluj Basin, right? Now this river Satluj and its tributaries, they flow through Punjab and Haryana. You can see here Punjab and Haryana. Okay, and so this area, although does not receive much rainfall, okay, so farmers depend upon this river and its tributaries only, and on the canals. So many dams have been built on the rivers over here, and the famous Bhakra Nangal Dam, which is also built on river Satluj here, and it provides electricity and water for irrigation, right? There is Indira Gandhi Canal also, which is from this Satluj river, it has been made, which provides water to these dry areas of Rajasthan. Now this area, what are the crops grown in this area which can survive in this type of soil and climate? Wheat, rice, cotton and sugarcane are grown, right? Important cities are over here. Chandigarh is there, Jalandhar is there, Patiala is there, Ludhiana, Ambala and Amritsar. These are the important cities of this area. So I hope you all must have understood the northern plains. So now let me read the lesson so that we can underline the important points and do a quick recap. Yes, so children, we encountered two new words over here. The first one is basin. What is a basin? A basin is an area which is watered by a river and its tributaries. That is called a basin. Then about perennial rivers. What are perennial rivers? Perennial rivers are the rivers which get water throughout the year. All 365 days of the year they have water in them. So we were talking about northern plains, and I said that northern plains, right? They are divided into three river basins. The first one is Ganga basin. Okay, Ganga basin. The second one is Brahmaputra basin. And the third is Satluj basin. Yes, and when I was showing you the map, we discussed about it. So now let me read the lesson and underline the important lines. So come to page number 263, the northern plains. The northern plains are located to the south of the Himalayas. They extend from Punjab in the west to Assam in the east. Please underline this line, that the northern plains extend from Punjab in the west to Assam in the east. The east-west extent of the plains is about 2,400 kilometers, and they are about 150 to 300 kilometers wide. They cover the states of, please underline the names of the states, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal and parts of Assam. The northern plains are flat, level lands. Please underline this line. They are flat, level land. Many rivers which originate in the Himalayas flow through these plains. Since these rivers begin in the Himalayas, they are perennial rivers. Please underline perennial rivers and have water throughout the year. These rivers thus make the plains rich and fertile. A wide variety of crops are grown here. An area watered by a river and its tributaries is called a basin. Now this is the definition of basin. Children, please underline this line. An area watered by a river and its tributaries is called a basin. The northern plains can be divided into three river basins. Number one is the Ganga basin in the center. Please underline. The Brahmaputra basin in the east. Underline. And the Satluj basin in the west. Please underline this also. Yes. So now we come to the last paragraph on this page. We will read about the Ganga basin. The river Ganga is sacred to the Hindus. What is sacred? Sacred means for which the Hindus revere, worshipping, right? It has its source in Gangotri glacier high up in the Himalayas and flows through the states of Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and West Bengal. Please underline, it is very important that it has its source in the Gangotri glacier. So Ganga river originates from Gangotri glacier. The Ganga flows very swiftly down the mountains and come to the next page and enters the plain at Haridwar. Now please underline this line also. This is also very important to know that which is the place where Ganga river enters from the mountain area to the plain area. So that is the place is Haridwar. Okay. As it flows down the plains, it is joined by its tributaries. The Yamuna is the most important tributary of the Ganga and joins it at Allahabad. Please underline this line also. Which is the most important tributary of Ganga? Yamuna. Which is the place it joins river Ganga? Allahabad. Okay. This meeting point of the two rivers is called the Sangam. Another important line. What is the meeting point called? Sangam. Once in every 12 years, thousands of pilgrims means the people who visit here. Yes, the pilgrims gather here to celebrate the Kumbh Mela. This is the name of a Mela, a very big, very huge, gathering of people over there. So they take bath there in the Sangam and they think that this is, according to their belief, it is very auspicious. Okay. So please underline, once in every 12 years, thousands of pilgrims gather here to celebrate the Kumbh Mela. The eastern part of the plain receives more rainfall than the western part. Most of the rainfall is received during the monsoon, that is June to September. Crops grow well here as the soil is rich and fertile. The major crops grown here are rice, please underline, rice, wheat, jute and sugarcane. Water is available in plenty as there are many wells and canals. Come to the next paragraph. The Ganga basin is the most densely populated part of India and is home to millions of people. Please underline, it is the most densely populated part of India. Many important cities such as Rishikesh, Haridwar, Delhi, Agra, Kanpur, Allahabad, Ayodhya, Patna, Varanasi and Kolkata are located here. So on the right hand side you can just see the activity, right, in your book written, name the important cities that are located in Ganga basin. So what is the answer? The answer is this only, Rishikesh, Haridwar, Delhi, Agra, Kanpur, Allahabad, Ayodhya, Patna, Varanasi and Kolkata. In the east lies the Ganga Delta, also known as Ganga Brahmaputra Delta, formed by the rivers Ganga and Brahmaputra. This is the largest delta in the world. Please underline, this is the largest delta in the world. Here, the river breaks up into small rivers before entering the Bay of Bengal. So ultimately where river Ganga falls down, it falls down into the Bay of Bengal. Next we come to the next basin, that is the Brahmaputra basin. The river Brahmaputra starts in Tibet. Please underline this. Where does the river start? It starts in Tibet. It flows eastwards and enters India in Arunachal Pradesh. So this is also very important. Name the state where it enters India. It is Arunachal Pradesh. Then it flows westwards through Assam before entering Bangladesh. The Brahmaputra basin receives heavy rainfall brought by the monsoon winds. Sometimes the heavy rainfall floods the river and its surrounding areas. But the silt, that is the fertile soil brought by the rivers, okay? But the silt produced by heavy flooding is excellent for crops such as jute and rice, which are grown widely in this area. So now we come to the third basin, that is the Satluj basin. The river Satluj and its tributaries flow through the states of Punjab and Haryana. This region does not receive much rainfall. Hence, farmers depend on canal, rivers and dams for water. The famous Bhakra Nangal Dam has been built on the Satluj to provide electricity and water for irrigation. Please underline this line, Bhakra Nangal Dam on river Satluj. The Indira Gandhi Canal, which starts from the Satluj, provides water to dry areas of Rajasthan. Please underline this also. This is a man-made canal, Indira Gandhi Canal, which starts from Satluj and takes water to dry areas of Rajasthan. The main crops grown in this region are wheat, rice, cotton and sugarcane. Some of the important cities in this region are Chandigarh, Jalandhar, Patiala, Ludhiana, Ambala and Amritsar. Now please see, there is a small exercise on page number 265 besides the picture of Indira Gandhi Canal. The question is, the Dash basin is the most populated part of India and three options are given, Brahmaputra, Ganga and Satluj. So think, which is the basin? You're right, this is the Ganga basin. So in the dotted part, please write down Ganga. The Ganga basin is the most populated part of India. Next we come to the importance of the northern plains. So our next topic is the importance of the northern plains. As we had discussed in the earlier module about the importance of the northern mountains, now it comes the importance of northern plains. So here also we will write them point wise in short so that it is easier for you to remember. So the first one is, because the northern plain is very fertile, it is good for growing crops. Good for growing crops. So almost all kinds of crops are grown. Okay. So we get a wide variety of fruits and vegetables. Okay. Second, it is very populated. Why? Because the climate is good for people to live. It is not as cold as it is in northern mountains. So many people have settled. People settle in large numbers here. People settle in large numbers. And the reason because what do the people require to live? They need water and food and shelter. So plenty of water is available and plenty of food is also available. Then there are important cities have developed besides the bank of these rivers. Important cities, many important ancient cities have developed. Why so many cities have developed beside this? Because most of the cities, they need what? They all need water for their factories, right? So because of plenty of rivers over here, they get plenty of water. So it's easier for them to establish around these river basins. Okay. Then as the land is flat here, there is a good network of roads, and so we can write good network because the land is flat. So it is easier to make roads over here. Not only roads, also railways. So there is a dense network of railways in this area. So it is easier to transport things from one place to another. And also, so the last point, the leading point is transportation is easier. Transportation, taking things from one place to another for food and for other things which are made in the factories, it is easier to carry from one place to another. So this is the importance of the northern plains. Now I want to read this paragraph also so that you can underline the important points. The importance of the northern plains. The soil of the northern plains is very good for growing crops. So please underline, soil is good for growing crops. Unlike the Himalayas, the plains are not very cold, and thus people have settled here in large numbers. So please write down, underline, people have settled in large numbers. Many of the earliest cities such as Patna, Kolkata, Varanasi and Delhi have grown on the banks of the rivers here. So please underline, many of the earliest cities have grown on the banks of the river. As the land is flat here, there exists a good network of roads and railways. So underline, there exists a good network of roads and railways. This helps in transporting the food produced here to other parts of the country. So underline, helps in transporting the food. I hope children you have understood this lesson, the northern plains, the three river basins, the importance of the northern plains. So with this we have finished the lesson, and after this we will be doing the exercises given at the end of the lesson, for which we will take it up in the next class. Okay, thank you children.